okay? Move in the direction that I need to move, handle it any way I want, all right? If, however I decide I'm going to step, I need to make sure that I have balance with my feet, okay? Don't allow your feet to get super, super wide. If you get way out here really wide, oh, it looks really cool in the movies and stuff. And if people are training, and don't get me wrong, there are people who they train and they'll get down and they'll be in really low stances and low movements, okay? And there are reasons, but are they maintaining balance or are they not maintaining balance, okay? And so if they're strong enough they can maintain balance and you're strong enough you can maintain balance, that's great. But if they're not, and you put yourself down in a really low deep stance, the one thing you're going to notice is that you've reduced your mobility, your ability to move quickly and fast, all right? So if you keep your feet kind of close together, even if you're squatted down, because your feet are close together, you can move a whole lot faster. If you think about when you're out on the dance floor and you're dancing around and you're moving your feet, you don't want to trip over your own 2 feet, okay? And if you're not practicing how you step and how you move so that you can handle, whatever's coming in and how you're moving, and you start trying to get really fancy, what happens out on the dance floor? You'd end up falling away from your partner, or you end up throwing your partner away from you, but you can't catch them because your feet are too far apart that now you can't shift your weight and get back to them fast enough to save your partner, all right? So there's a lot of things in our world that, people talk about in their training. And so whether it's, football, soccer, basketball, whatever, all of those athletes, they train to keep their feet under them, to have strength when they're doing something, to not push with their chest, but push with their hips and their legs, okay? So if you're pushing with your hips and your legs, somebody, that's one thing. But if you're up here and you're trying to do this with your chest, you have no balance. Your feet are no longer attached. You're going to get tossed over. You've got to have everything down here. So keep your energy low, keep it centered. It doesn't mean that you have to squat all the way down to the floor and do all your techniques down here. It simply means keep your feet close enough together that you can move them and do whatever you need to do. If somebody's stepping in and you tap their foot out of the way, you've still got to be able to pivot and turn so that you have what? Balance. Because once you cross your feet, you don't really have good solid balance until you pivot back into a balanced position. So if you're moving into that direction, that's great. If your intention is, I'm going to move them here and then step back so I can take them off balance, that's great, that's fine. But I've seen people where they'll say, okay, here's how you throw someone to the ground, and you do a sweep and they take their foot and they step over the person's leg. Well, while they're up in the air and they're going to get behind this leg, what are they on? They're only on one leg, and they're in close proximity to the other person. If the other person taps them and their energy gets sent back or lifted up, this leg is going to go off the floor and they're going to be on their head, okay? So what's actually happening is there's a timing and a distance game that's happening with all the footwork. And so if you do something with your hands and you make the person lean back and they have all their weight on this foot, and that gives you time to go and step in before they can shift back, now you might be in that position where you can do your little sweep throw, all right? But that's a timing, distance, over and over and over again type training. All right, so when you're at home, practice. Just practice some of the different things that we've talked about. So whether you roll it up and you put it here and you're going up, there's a bird over there, whatever it is you're doing, moving somebody's head, practice all of those things, okay? Practice the basics, and so that you feel more comfortable with it. And then we can talk more individually. Thank you.